Welcome to Voice Bootcamp. Hi, my name is Faisal, Cisco Collaboration Instructor at Voice Bootcamp. In this video, we're going to go through the collaboration deployment model. Now, deployment models could generally be based on either on-premise type solutions or cloud. Now, they could be revolving around the cloud-based environment, or of course, you can merge them together or kind of integrate them together as a hybrid solutions. So let's take a moment to just have a look at these three different type of options that we have. If you take a look at the diagram, you'll see a typical design of a building with your on-premise data centers. Now, these are data centers that you and I are historically used to. So we're always looking at an environment where everything that was pretty much on premises. Every single one of these different appliances, whether it is a telephone, whether it was a type of telecommunication product, whether we're dealing with things like call manager, Unity connections, they're all located in the same building or same data center. There was nothing that was outsourced to the cloud or pretty much handed to someone else or whatnot. At that time there are no cloud providers. Everything was controlled 100% internally, with the exception of being the ability to route calls to your PSTN. Now, all of these devices, including the routers that would have used, or even sometime like cube devices that would be used to route calls over the internet or over your PSTN, more precisely, were controlled 100% within the organization. Now, you and I are probably responsible for 100% of the management of all this platform. So there is this clear boundary that exists right over here that separates a corporate network versus outside network of any shape and size and form. So we had an idea as to which is in our control and which is in service providers' control. Moving from that direction, a lot of these services are now starting to get released as a service-based orientation or platform as services when you talk about the cloud computing terms. And all of this really is coming down to structure of things being hosted inside on the cloud. As a couple of examples, if this would be something like WebEx Teams, where WebEx Teams will be hosted as a cloud-based solution managed by Cisco WebEx Team. You and I just simply get an interface to log in and manage the platform. So these tools would be certainly a cloud orientation, and things that we can connect to and subscribe to those features are controlled based on subscription model. Now, generally speaking, depending on the type of organization, you probably not going to be either one exclusively nowadays. Some company are going to have partial devices on site. Some company will integrate most of the devices on a cloud and then keep some on site. Now, there are a few cases where it does exist. For example, if you're looking at most government organizations, they tend to stick to things like on their on-premise solutions. Why? Because of paranoia of security, privacy issues, not trusting the company that they want to rely on. Like, for example, you imagine government of Canada decided that all their data is going to be put on AWS or Microsoft Cloud, and suddenly after 6 years, 7 years, Microsoft Cloud is going to, man, things are not working out, we're going to go bankrupt. Then what's going to happen? So there are certain companies have that fear in mind, like what happened if the cloud provider, if we put everything on site, on cloud, that suddenly that company disappears. I mean, we have had big companies like Nortel, WorldCom, big companies just suddenly shuts down overnight. And it just happened. I mean, obviously, in that case, what do you do as a company? I mean, how do you move operation overnight? And that is something, a challenge that a lot of companies has to overcome as we move into the cloud. So what they're doing is they are slowly moving. They're not, okay, we're not going to put everything on the cloud. We're going to put majority of stuff on site because, hey, first of all, we have invested money onto it. So we still have some time, a lot of company may have already spent millions of dollars upgrading, and they still have 5 years or 3 years for the product's longevity. So why not wait and put a little bit slowly into cloud and see where things goes. The biggest problem with the cloud is going to be that one concern of company being able to trust that organization being in business forever, or security, it will be the other area. Now, whereas you may find very small organization may choose to start everything on the cloud. Like for example, my business, I have put everything on cloud because I'm on one or two in a very small company. It's a pretty much one-man show. So if that is the case, I don't really have time for infrastructure and everything. And so I put everything on AWS. If tomorrow AWS decides to go bust for whatever reason, okay, I'm going to take a hit, but it's not going to be that long. I can move to a new provider in a matter of 24 hours. But for these big companies, they can't move everything within 24 hours. There's a lot of planning involved, a lot of engineering involved. So therefore, they are going to look at hybrid solutions as being one of the preferred way to go in terms of deployment. So here you got WebEx Cloud, you got your remote branch office. You could connect to your corporate on-premise network and interconnect between them. So whether it is that AWS or whether you're using it Cisco WebEx Cloud, it all really depends on your organizations. On-premise deployment, which is basically everything located in your own site, applications such as Cisco Unified Communication Manager, IAM and Presence, Unity Connections, meeting servers, Cisco TMS, these are all located in your physical building. You have your, or maybe your branch office, but within your own control. Then you have your some sort of WAN connections to connect with your service providers or to your branch offices. In cloud, collaboration services are delivered over the cloud as a service. So services that are delivered from cloud could include things like WebEx Team, WebEx Messenger, Cisco Meeting, so WebEx Meeting. You could do WebEx calling now, which allows you to register phone to WebEx and interconnect with your corporate infrastructure. Hybrid, which is where implementing both on-premise and hybrid on cloud service, and then somehow have some sort of interconnections. So hybrid deployment include things like enterprise calling with cloud messaging and conferencing, or enterprise calling with cloud calling and messaging, depending on what the customers need. Now, enterprise calling and with cloud messaging, this type of deployment basically includes Cisco Unified Communication Manager, Unity Connection on-premise, and for the call control, and web and video messaging using the WebEx. WebEx Meeting, you use IAM and Presence for voice, video, and web-based conferencing, and of course, you have a permanent collaboration meeting room because of the WebEx. Whereas enterprise calling with cloud calling messaging, your call manager on-premise is used for voice and video calling, as well as WebEx Messenger. WebEx Meeting and hybrid services for voice and video calling integrations between Presence and cloud integrations solutions. So these are some of the features that we're going to explore and we're going to deploy as we go through this course, where you will learn how to set up a WebEx calling using Cisco WebEx credentials. You will also configure call managers, and at some point you will use Expressway Collaboration Edge to interconnect your WebEx service with your corporate infrastructure. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video, our overview of the architect deployment model, and we will see you in the next video.